back in the club today, joined by Joe Stefani, founder and president of Desert Cactus.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Great to have you.
So, Joe, I know you're in the industry of doing custom branding. Lots of relationships are always a part of that. But you have a business with a very unique name, Desert Cactus. What is Desert Cactus exactly?
Well, with Desert Cactus, we're a direct-to-consumer brand, and we use other people's logos to make products, and that's what it really comes down to.
Wonderful. So when you're looking at going to the marketplace and coming up with a vision for Desert Cactus, what goes into that? Like, you're the founder. How did this all come about and start back in, 2012?
Yeah, well, what's interesting is that technically I founded it way before that out of my college dorm room, actually.
Okay.
Back in 2004 or so. So I was in a fraternity.
Sure.
And we started making these custom shirts, as a lot of Greek organizations do. Mm-hmm. You know, a bid day, whatever it is that you're having.
You've seen some of those fun designs.
Yeah, that was back when T-shirts were like $5 to make, and now it's
oh my goodness,
significantly more money than that. So we were doing those, and it wasn't licensed because licensing really wasn't a big thing back there at that time. 2003, 2004, 2005, and so I was the VP of finance for our fraternity. And so my job was to protect essentially this flag that we had.
Okay.
And it was like the main flag of the fraternity. It was like $300 and something back then, which is significantly more money nowadays. And I was afraid I was just going to lose this. So I put it on the wall of my dorm room in the fraternity house. And people kept coming in saying, oh, that's a really cool poster, or that's a really cool idea to put that on there.
Yeah.
So about a year later, I started going through and mass producing these fraternity flags for a couple different organizations. And then one day I got a message saying, are you licensed? And I'm like, what's that? And so
I have a driver's license.
Yeah, that's all I have. And so for probably about, from I think 2005 is when I started really mass producing flags. And we started with 4 groups, added a couple more. And it wasn't really till 2012. My husband and I at the time, we had a summer collegiate baseball league that we helped found, and we exited from that. And right before we exited, we're like, hey, let's put a lot more time and money into this.
Sure.
So really for us, we started as Greek, and we were Greek for a bunch of years after that before we really started getting in other organizations.
And the Greek side, that's a whole nother animal.
Oh, man, it is crazy. Talk about stealing copyright stuff. We have some T-shirt vendors and stuff that are using let's use this picture of Elvis. Let's use this. And it's so that's how we got. So we
Elvis has his own license.
We have that. Yeah. So it's interesting. And so really to answer your question, that's a long-winded answer. We didn't really know. We knew Greek was big.
Yeah.
We never thought it would get to the point where it was even 4 or 5 years after 2012. And now it's a lot bigger than what we ever expected.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting name, first and foremost, Desert Cactus. What's the story behind the name?
So we went to our lawyer, our IP lawyer, and we're like, hey, we need to get this done. We were one of the first vendors on Amazon to go through brand gating and all this stuff. And there's certain things you had to check the box for. So we were, as part of this process, due diligence, lawyers like, hey, this name's not going to work. This name's not going to work. And we were in my parents' pool in Arizona, and Josh is like, who's my husband, he's like, hey, Desert Cactus, let's do that. Because it's kind of like Apple. It's something you eat.
Yeah.
It's cell phone. It's computers.
I know. I've never eaten cactus. Have you?
Yeah,
eaten
that
cactus?
would be
No, is that a thing?
No, they're too expensive.
Okay.
They can get pretty expensive, actually.
I've seen people grill cactus before.
That's interesting.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
But
Can't
going
say
off
I've
on
done
a
it.
tangent.
That's a different topic. Whole other podcast for that.
Yeah.
I mean, because at the end of the day, you guys know, being in the industry, that people want, unless it's like a Nike, like a Nike branded, University of Georgia item.
Yep.
People are buying it because it's Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs. It's Michigan State, it's Michigan. And so for us, we didn't really put a lot of emphasis on the name. And we've had people over the years tell me, oh, this is stupid. You guys aren't going to sell anything. But really, because we sold several 100,000 units last year or whatever it was at the time. At the end of the day, people are there.
Yeah.
They're for the school they went to.
Yes.
Iowa, Northwestern,
Iowa.
Wisconsin.
Go Hawks.
Two Hawkeyes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I mean, there's so much power behind the brand, especially in the collegiate space or where you first started with the Greek side of it. It is something that you've got that ability to tap into the nostalgia of their time connected to that brand. So I love the backstory of how that came about. You know, you're looking at the desert, there's a cactus. Being in a branding agency, it's something, anytime there's a unique name like that, it just catches my eye. So would love to hear that backstory and piece that together. For us, though, you always look at the logo, too, and the logo is literally a cactus.
yeah.
When you go into designing something like that from the lens of being someone that's in the production side of things, were you involved with the creative side of that?
Yeah, we said that we wanted something simple. You didn't want something with a lot of colors. We sometimes use like just that round circle sometimes on some occasions. So we wanted something really simple, but then something that wasn't too loud. Like, hey, if we ever had to print T-shirts or do embroidery, you don't want it to be 10 different colors, like 10 different
you
screens.
See things differently when you're in the industry. Think about those things.
Yeah, something simple. I think if we had to do it over again, we would have picked, I want to say like more real Pantones. Because like if you look at the collegiate industry, Northwestern's purple, not a real Pantone color.
Yes.
Texas A&M, not a real Pantone color. So it's a special
it's a
mixture. And I think going back, we would have been like, okay, let's pick a normal, like Pantone 201, 86. Like, you know, I think that's the only thing that I think we always beat ourselves up about. But
sounds like a rebrand, maybe on the horizon. So you get started in the Greek side of things through your own fraternity. Is that where you discovered your passion for entrepreneurship?
Not really. I mean, like I remember before I went to school, someone who's not my friend anymore, for many numerous reasons, we actually started a cell phone store, actually.
Okay.
And so we started this thing and learned a lot of lessons with that.
This is the early 2000s. So
this was like, so I graduated high school.
Razors?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
flip phone,
like
razor
exactly.
style.
Yeah, that was like when Sprint was around, Nextel was
Nokia.
around and stuff. Yeah. So it was a good experience, and I wasn't sure I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but it's like one of those things where if you have a really good work ethic, they could definitely play you in your advantage.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on the situation, because obviously, like, I think luck with me also comes into it too. I think it has to at some point, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's also timing too.
Yeah.
Like imagine trying to start Amazon right now
Yeah.
versus when Jeff Bezos did it.
We have a slogan, right solution, right place, right time. And timing is everything.
Everything.
Yes. So when you look at, your journey and the challenges you encountered in those early years, starting your own business and getting things up and running, what would you encourage young professionals out there that are looking to start their own business? What words of advisement would you give them?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is like school, like I don't want to say college is overrated, because I think from a social aspect, I think it's really good. And like, I mean, we have some really good employees, past and present, that didn't go to school, that are really good employees, but it teaches you a lot of good lessons.
Sure.
Time management, how to multiple bunch of different projects at the same exact time.
Yep.
So I think going to school, I think, is really, really important. I think just from there's gonna be stuff you're gonna learn in the classroom.
Process
It's the whole process, responsibility, that type of stuff. So I think that is very, very important. I think really like young entrepreneurs need to be sponges. They need to see kind of what's out there. You don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. I think it's like me coming here today. There was a million different ways I could go to get here. It's just everyone has their own path. I think there's too many people out there who try to copy.
Did you take the path that the GPS told you, Joe?
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like some people think the only way they'd be successful is copy another successful business. I mean, look at how many drinkware companies there are now.
Oh,
There's a million.
Million.
And I feel like there's so many new pop-ups coming up all the time.
Yeah.
Always every year, I feel like there's a big new one, a big brand that's coming up with drinkware. So at Club Colors, I mean, you talk about some of the entrepreneurship and your entrepreneurial background, right? At Club Colors, we have 3 pillars that we do a lot around, right? Each manager, each person in the company really creates these 3 pillars that are their principles and guiding light, right? So for me, what I expect of myself and the team every day are pace, energy, detail. I know Chris has his 3 pillars as well.
Curiosity, urgency, and drive.
Is this something that maybe you've adopted? Or there are 3 words that maybe you can go back to, okay, you know what? I've always made sure that every day I wake up in the morning, I apply these 3 things, these 3 principles to my day.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think work ethic is a big thing. I think it's like kind of giving your all. God, that's a really good question. when you think about it, because honestly, it really depends on the situation too.
Yeah,
I don't know. That is a good question.
Yeah, work ethic's always a good one too. I mean, for me, I'm a big believer of hard work always pays off, right? So just thinking that, for every day I'm just gonna work my tail off and gonna do it until I close my eyes.
Well, and for me, the curiosity side of it, I'm always asking questions. I'm always trying to find where our business might be able to help our clients at the end of the day, and always thinking through that lens of client versus customer. And curiosity helps fuel all those questions.
Yeah, and we try to train, especially on our design side of our team, like trying to draw the lines between different things that happen. Like everything happens for a reason. So for instance, and you guys would probably agree with this being in the industry, that blue for Michigan is always going to sell better than yellow, hands down. But then you're going to have weird situations where Illinois, orange and blue both sell equally well.
Yeah.
Iowa, black.
Yep.
So my thing is, let's not try to become, let's not try to prove a point with everybody and try to always do yellow. Like, let's do what's selling, and then let's, hey, if it works really well for flags, it's probably going to sell well for keychains.
Yeah.
In terms of, designs or colors.
Yeah.
So we try to teach that to our designers, and it takes a little while, but also too, it's part of this too is gut feeling. And I think part of the reason why we've been successful, we don't have investors.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, some people they're just looking for a huge payout. So they're going to make you do things you don't feel comfortable with. And we trust our gut. And the best example I like using is when Coach Prime switched from Jackson State to Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
We had a particular product we sold 300 units of over a 12-month period. I was like, I don't really know what to do. I don't know how many to order. So we ordered 1,000 of this product. We ended up selling that in 30 days.
Wow.
So you imagine going to like an investor pool saying, or your investors and saying, hey, I have this one product. I want to buy 900, 1,000, whatever. They're like, no. And I even guessed wrong. And I was like going up super high, but I just used my gut feeling like, hey, I think we're going to sell a lot.
Yeah.
So I think gut feeling sometimes,
It's a big guiding.
It kind of plays into it. And just like everyone who thinks that AI is going to take everybody's job, it's like training wheels on your bicycle. You still need that human interaction, and that it just helps you make hopefully a better decision based on data it's giving you or whatever.
Yeah. We see that, with our own business, the human element is a huge X factor for us. Yes, AI is there to help maybe make you more efficient with certain things, but there's always, in a relationship-based industry, space for that relationship to grow, and that comes from human to human.
Yep.
Comes from having conversations.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to be that name behind a computer screen, right?
Yeah.
Have a personality, pick up the phone, build a relationship, build a connection.
Yeah. Speaking of relationships, everyone has someone that's inspired them at some point to maybe push you to try something different, do something that's stepping outside that comfort zone, like you mentioned, Joe. Is there someone that inspires you or has inspired you along this journey of creating Desert Cactus?
Gosh, I would say it's probably my husband, because I feel like if I make a bad decision, something bad's going to happen. I feel like, so I'm always like, I'm going to second guess myself, double check my work. God, I think part of it's actually the brands we work with.
Yeah.
Nothing is more of a natural high than seeing, like, being at an airport and somebody having your luggage tag, or some athlete being like, oh my God, this is the coolest product. You know what I'm saying? I think it's those types of things, because I think that's something that...
It's that proof of concept.
It's a proof of concept, yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, like I see it in the public, I see it in the wild.
The wild of that.
We're selling a lot. Yeah, so it's very, very cool. And there's only certain products that we generally will see out there. And then when you see something different, you're like, holy cow.
So what are the ones that you see the most?
License plate frames all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
all the time.
I would imagine, being close to I-90 and all the highways around Chicagoland, you see them everywhere.
All over the place. And now I have not seen our headwear in the wild at all. Our staff has. Like, I have an advisor who always will text me pictures when his kid is a baseball player at Butler. He'll send me pictures like, oh, here's two people wearing desert cactus hats at it's Crichton, and here's this other one. Like you see, but I have not seen that yet. So.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out for the headwear.
Send you some pictures.
Do you ever see the flags?
All the time. Yeah,
all the
we
time.
always see,
like like that's my flag.
Oh yeah, because like some of the stuff, it's like our unique designs or things that we know we introduce at a certain point. The coolest thing, I think this was maybe 2 years ago. It might have been a little longer ago. A girl who works for us, Christina, who's our first employee outside my husband and I. She's like, you are.
Shout out to Christina.
Shout out to Christina. So she was on Instagram and it was in the office. She's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
She's like, you are not going to believe this. Will Ferrell was at a fraternity party at USC where his kid goes there, and he's DJing, and it's one of our like patriotic flags.
Yes, like I know
that was right in there. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's our flag right there. You're like, holy crap. Like that's insane.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I saw the video. I remember that.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the
So he's like
clips of it.
DJing there,
Yeah.
and like all these other kids are around him. I'm like, holy cow, this is crazy.
It's cool to see that, your products in the wild or those moments like that. We had one actually this week where you saw the boxes that in our facility here. One of the kits that we've put together took off on TikTok with one of the accepted students doing like an unboxing. And it was just cool to see the impact of that kit that we put together actually impacting that student's decision to choose one school versus another school.
But it's interesting because those boxes are very cool. But you figure the actual cost for that box and what an elevated effect it has on that person who opens that up. It's like it's a huge
the first
experience.
impression.
Yep.
It's the first impression. It just really stands out. It's like more of like a 3D type of experience. And we're like doing the same things when we have stuff. So we sell a lot of stuff for Caitlin Clark, WNBA teams. And like the big thing we were pushing was how can we make our stickers look better at retail? How can we look our flags look better? And it's like, it's disappointing sometimes when you go, like I was just at the Cubs game on Sunday, you walk through the store and it's just, you look at the packaging and you look at the presentation, it's not great.
Yeah.
But by making one small change, like it makes a huge difference.
It kind of messes you up a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, I remember 14 years I've been working at Club Colors now, but when I first started, walking through the store and looking at the retail, the shirts and the tags, it's like, man, it kind of messes with your mind looking at all these packaging and it's the way that it's set up. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I like going through the stores now and you kind of see what's out there, what people are doing that's different. And especially with you guys dealing with brands, you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, that Northwestern purple, wrong. Like,
Exactly.
It kind of messes with you.
Yeah. That logo's reversed style. You're always like,
like that doesn't follow brand standards. What are you doing? Yeah, I like.
Where's the registration mark on that?
The best is going around with licensing directors at schools for colleges and universities, walking around town and going into the different stores, and you can just. They don't have to say anything. You just look them in the eyes and you know exactly what they're thinking. Like we've been at some where there'll be like headwear and apparel. There'll be 8 or 9 or 10 different shades of that school's colors.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. And some of the schools, they got challenging colors. When you're in that cardinal, burgundy, maroon area, it is something that depending on the imprint method, like it can look different.
Yeah.
So absolutely, you're in this industry, you get an eye for those things, and you just know you see the world differently.
You do.
You absolutely do. You see it in Pantone colors.
Yes, you do.
You definitely do.
Joe, when you think about how you go to the marketplace, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. E-commerce is huge for you. You distribute through Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. What is that like, working within that structure, and how does e-commerce shape Desert Cactus?
Yeah, so it's